I'm recording it now.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later, alligator.
Bye.
Okay, back we go. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to read a story by Edgar Allan Poe and also one by what's his name? It's the story called The Monkey's Paw. These are famous stories. These are real classics in this unit. Anyway, so let's read this. This is from, but first we're going to read an essay about what is the horror genre. What is this genre? Many people define horror by its subjects. We all think of creatures like Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, and the Wolfman of monsters in the horror genre. Okay, so again, this word all is a very extreme statement. We all think that? Okay, well, you all think that. You think that the person who wrote it. Each one of these creatures has a history and developed over a period of time. We're talking about Dracula and Frankenstein, etc. But we all know that horror covers more than just these monsters. We could all, again, the word all, this is a all, is a tana golefet, this is extreme language. Safa kitzoni, hachlala gdola. We could all make long lists of the kind of creatures we identify with horror, especially when we think of films as well as literature. The minute we would start to make such a list, we would also realize that not all monsters are alike and that not all horror deals with monsters. And before we go on, it says here, anchor questions. When you notice this signpost, ask why did the author use this language? Okay, here the signpost is anchor questions. What's an anchor? An anchor, anybody know what an anchor is? An ogen. So these are, so we want to say what, they ask you what words or phrases indicate certainty or completeness, okay? These are anchor questions for right now. So again, certainty, what's a certainty? What's a certainty? Certainty is vadaut. And completeness is lachalutin. So the words are we all, or we could all. These are very certain words. Why might the author have used these words? These words create a feeling of agreement between the author and the readers. This is a technique. He's trying to bring you in. Say, yeah, you're like me. We could all do this. We all think, which is good, you know, like he wants to make you feel, or she wants you to make you feel close to him, okay? But this is a technique. This is a writing technique. And we call this, such techniques we call rhetoric. It's a rhetorical technique. Okay, let's go on. Wow, this is Kashalidi quotes and Mikan. Wow. Quoted words, okay? If you see something in quotes, גרשיים זה גם כן סוג של סימן, okay, שמישהו אומר משהו, אולי זה משהו להגיש. If you were writing a fiction story, סיפור, fiction זה אמיתי, זה לא בדיוני, you might use quotations to show the words your characters say. In nonfiction, writers often use quoted words to provide support for a point. Quoted words might be the conclusion of an expert on a subject or the account of an eyewitness on an event. When you come across quoted words, ask yourself why the words were quoted and what they help you understand about the topic. Okay, now, first of all, quoted words, let me ask you something. It doesn't say it here, but what is the purpose of bringing a quote? Let's read what it says here, and I'm asking you. What is the purpose of it? Let's read. There are good reasons why people flock to horror movies. Flock means, a flock is an edil kvasim. To flock means to move there in groups. Everybody, so it's a word that means everybody goes there, bahamonim. So a good reason why people flock to horror movies, there are good reasons why people flock to horror movies. As psychologist Irene Chen points out, like a good roller coaster ride, a scary film offers tremendous thrills, but it also offers safety. Okay, why does the writer make a quote here? What's the purpose of the quote? Don't read what it says down below. What's the purpose of bringing a quote? Hello? Any guesses? Anybody there? Am I talking to myself?
My thing was on
No,
mute.
you're not.
What's the purpose of this? We're reading an article. Zalosi pools and ma'amal. למה המחבר רוצה להביא ציטוט? מה התפקיד?
For making his opinion more reasonable, more people will believe him.
Good. It makes it more reasonable. And can you try to make it more לחדד קצת יותר? I have an opinion. Now I bring a quote. What does that do?
Like backs up your opinion, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, it backs it up. It gives an example. An example.
It's not the only one thing like that.
That's kind of what you were saying, Talia. Good. I think that was Talia. It's giving an example. It's okay. So we bring a quote in an article, to strengthen the opinion. That's what you were saying, Talia, and that's what you were saying, Batya. To bring an example, to illustrate it. That's the purpose of it. Okay? It's called, again, it's a rhetorical strategy. So strategi rhetori. As what words does the author use? What quoted words does the author use? And it says, like a good roller coaster ride, a scary film offers tremendous thrills, but it also offers safety. You know what a roller coaster is, everybody? A roller coaster? What's a roller coaster?
I forgot how to say it in Hebrew.
At Luna Park, you go on the roller coasters. Didn't we have a picture of one in our book, or was that a different book? I think it's a different book I had. Didn't we have a picture of a roller? Yeah, we had a picture. I have a picture of a roller. I'll show you one. This is a roller coaster, right? See that picture? Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a lot in Israel, but in America, they're very popular. I like them. They're really fun. And I feel safe on them. Some things, I don't like heights. I'm always scared. But anyway, so that's a roller coaster.
There's videos of people flying off of them.
It happened a few times. You're right. There are risks. And going in an airplane, people die sometimes. And in cars, even more, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But we're used to being in cars. But sometimes in cars, we go very fast. And it's a bit risky. Like a good roller coaster ride, a scary film offers tremendous fun. It's like a ride, okay? But it also offers safety. Why is a scary film also safe? Why is it also safe, just like a ride?
Because you're watching it from a screen, like nothing can happen to you.
Exactly. It's on a screen. Nothing can happen to you. And so it's fiction. You know it's not reality. It's going to end. You can walk away. It's not really happening to you. Okay, so it's hard. He says the why. Does he use the quote? It gives an example of one good reason people. I can't even read it myself, but it says might want to see a horror film. Yeah. Okay. Od dugma shakzat rhetorika, v'az nirאה את המאמר. Big questions. Have you ever listened to a friend tell a story and wondered if you had missed something? Sometimes people assume you know something or have background knowledge that you don't, okay? Like, you tell it and you think, uh-oh, maybe you didn't get what I meant because I assumed you knew something about what I was talking about and you didn't. Authors, soflim, occasionally do the same thing. They make this kind of, they assume you know something. And maybe you don't. If you're reading a text and feel lost, stop and ask yourself, what does the author think I already know? This can help you clarify the point the author is making and determine what to look for as you continue to read. Here's an example. Okay, this is a different technique. This is a technique to when you to stop yourself and to go back. Let's read what it says here. We can also look at the kinds of themes, themes common to horror. Many works concentrate on the conflict between good and evil. Works, Avodot Shel Horror, Avodot Ima, the genre Shel Ima, works about the fantastic may deal with the search for forbidden knowledge that appears in much horror literature. Such quests are used as a way of examining our attitude towards knowledge. While society may believe that new knowledge is always good, the horror genre may question this assumption, examining how such advances affect the individual and society. So you're reading this and you're a little bit lost. They know that you're feeling a little lost. Why are you feeling lost here?
Because you don't know what the forbidden knowledge, and like not everyone reads horror literature.
Okay, and also maybe we were talking about horror, but suddenly the author introduces the idea of fantasy. Okay, I mean, where did fantasy come from? We weren't talking about fantasy, we were talking about horror. Okay, and so you have to like say, whoa, wait a second. Okay, yeah, like fantasy, yeah, it has to do with searching for forbidden knowledge. Okay, that makes sense, but he never talked about that yet. Okay, so you kind of have to take a step back and, and figure out what he's talking about, okay, or think it out, work it out for yourself, unless he spoke about it earlier in the text. All right, so those are kind of that's an important strategy to do. What do they say on the side here? When you start to feel lost or confused while reading, pause and ask yourself one or more of these big questions. What does the author think I already know? What surprised me? What challenged, changed, or confirmed what I already knew? Okay. So these are just sort of techniques to use while we read. All right, let's go on. What is the horror genre? This is our story. Why do we sometimes like to feel scared? Okay, so this is the story that the article that we're going to read this week. Boom, 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 let's make it bigger. So again, these are some words we want to know while we're reading, all right? The word literary criticism. What does literary criticism mean?
Literary is from literature.
And to criticize, what is to criticize? What is criticism?
I don't know how to say it in Hebrew.
In Hebrew, we say bikoet, bikoet. Okay, so it's bikoet sifruti. Okay, so we're going to read an article now called Of Literary Criticism. It's an article that's going to explore what is horror, maza ema. So literary criticism is writing that examines, analyzes, and interprets, meforesh, a particular work or aspect of literature. The author's purpose, okay, purpose of matara, or reason for writing, is often to inform readers to persuade them, to adopt a particular opinion of the material. This opinion is the controlling idea. If we talk about this, these are three terms we want to learn: literary criticism, purpose, matara sofer, and the controlling idea, where the purpose is going. And it's always in the article. The controlling idea around which the writing is organized, whether stated directly or implied, the author supports it with evidence. Okay. So this chart shows some specific purposes an author might have when writing literary criticism. Okay, so in this article, it's going to be, these are his purposes. First of all, he wants to define a genre, and he does it by explaining characteristics of a type of writing using specific examples as evidence. Okay, characteristics are, miudem as a characteristic,
When something has characteristics, that's something that, I don't know,
defines it. In Hebrew, we call them mafyanim. Okay? So the purpose is, he explains the mafyanim, tchunot. He explains the characteristics of a type of writing using specific examples as evidence. His other purpose is to categorize works of literature. What is to categorize? Put things in categories. What's a category? Kvutzot. Okay, so by talking about genre, we're putting things in categories. We're talking about horror, comedy, romantic, tragedy. These are genres of literature. So the categories defines and classifies works of literature based upon certain criteria. Criteria. Does anybody know the word criteria? What's the criteria?
I think
Yeah.
criteria is certain things that something needs to have in order to be considered something.
Right. Okay. In Hebrew, we call that kinei mida. Kinei mida. Okay, are the criteria or standards, standarten. Also, his purpose is going to be to examine the structure of a work of literature, the structures, the mivneh, to analyze the organization of a piece of literature. We're going to analyze his other purpose is going to be to analyze the author's techniques, to explain how people who write horror stories, what their techniques are to make us scared, to bring us in. So explains the effectiveness of literary techniques such as suspense or flashbacks. Okay, so right now we're not going to read this. I want to go to the next page. Well, I kind of talk about these words here that are going to appear within the story. Oh no, what happened? I got it. So in the article that you're going to read this week, these are some words you need to know. Okay, first of all, intensify. What's to intensify? Intense means balotzma. To intensify.
To make something.
Yeah, intensify זה כמו להעצים. לעשות משהו יותר חזק. To intensify. Okay? You can intensify the music, you can intensify the feelings of a story, intensify the colors, to justify. Who knows the word justify? What's to justify?
נראה לי צדק, כאילו...
Good. Justice, זה צדק.
Justify is, I don't know how.
אז זה הפועל. You have צדק, עכשיו תהפוך את זה לפועל.
להצדיק? להצדיק.
יפה מאוד, להצדיק. Justify זה להצדיק. Okay? Parallel is something...
That's the opposite or something like that.
Parallel
like
lines.
parallel worlds.
Same direction, they're parallel lines. Parallel ideas, they're the same, they're on the same level. Not exactly touching, not the exact same thing, not intersecting, but they have similar.
But usually in movies, when there's like parallel worlds, there's like one world that's regular and then one that's like all scary, but it's the same thing, just in a different color or something.
Parallel worlds, yeah, that's a concept from people. A world which is happening. It's that when they say parallel worlds, usually means that we're living our reality right now, but there's somebody else living a world at the same time in the same place, but we can't see them. It's a parallel world. Parallel means makbil. זה מילה מגיאומטריה, כמו קווים מקבילים. אבל משתמשים בזה גם כן, הרעיון הזה מקביל, מה שאתה אומר זה מקביל למה שאני מתכוון, אוקיי? זה לא בדיוק אותו דבר, אבל זה אותם אלמנטים. And what's a quest? A quest for truth, a quest for knowledge.
A journey.
A journey, a masa. Okay, okay, so here let's fill in these words. I read a science fiction story about a world, much like Earth, but where computers have enslaved humans. Okay, good. A parallel world. It looks like our world, but in this world, the computers have actually enslaved us. Help. The trip is only 2 days, so I can't bringing 2 bags. I can't justify. We watch scary movies in the dark to the experience.
Intensify.
Intensify. I want to be scared. Yes, so let's turn out the lights and then we'll be really scared. Okay, it's like we want to have fun being scared, so let's turn out the lights. Number 4, how many restaurants have you visited in your to find out the perfect hamburger. In your quest, how many restaurants have you visited in your quest? למסע שלך, כדי למצוא את ההמברגר המושלם.
It's kind of a weird sentence.
It is, it's funny. Okay, זהו. עכשיו בנות, השבוע אני לא אתן לכם עבודה להגיש. What I want you to do though is to read the article, okay? I want you to read the article.
What does the story have
Here's the article.
to be
What is
from
the
this
genre of
book or
horror?
just any book?
What is, in general, what is the genre of horror, okay? What does that mean, horror? A horror story, okay? We can just see with the beginning. It's written by this guy, Sharon Russell, a woman, retired professor of communications and women's studies at Indiana State University, where she taught courses on film and television. Russell has published extensively on horror film and literature and detective fiction. She is the author of Stephen King, A Critical Companion, a book that analyzes several King's famous horror novels, and in which this essay appears. So has anybody ever heard of Stephen King? Famous writer.
Yeah, I have.
He's really big. And by the way, my sister who is a writer, she actually has a master's in Torah Sheni B'Tiva, always recommends to read his book on writing, which is a book about, it's also an autobiography. And my son read it and loved it. I read part of it, I loved it too. But his stories are
My
too scary.
cousin is writing a horror book right now, a thriller book.
Okay, so some people love it. I'm not a big fan, but I can appreciate it. But Stephen King, I've read. I think he's a great writer. Anyway, yeah, it's horror. I'm into more science fiction, fantasy, but I'm more into actually historical fiction these days than you have. עכשיו, אני רק רוצה שאתם קוראות את זה, אוקיי? אני לא אגיד מה העבודה לעשות אחר כך. Please read it and be ready, תהיו מוכנות לשוחח על זה בשבוע הבא, okay? You're just going to read this article.
Is the book report on this story?
A book report? No.
Yeah.
The book report. Okay, the book reports, this I just want you to read, what is the horror genre? Okay, and it's about, it's not long. Okay, it's 1, 2.
It's 2.5.
That's it. It's not long. Okay, it's pretty short. So if you have extra time, I would like, I sent about the book reports, okay? So please, I want everybody to tell me this week, write me a WhatsApp, what book you are reading, okay?
Until when do we have to do it?
Yeah, until Rosh Chodesh Shvat, Yishman. Okay, on Rosh Chodesh Shvat, oh, you left us. Coming back. So please take your time reading the book. While you are reading, I ask all my students, okay, to do a reading journal. So write down, it should be, I told you in the WhatsApp, right? You should choose a book that you enjoy, that is not too hard, but also not too easy, okay? So that every so often you have to think, what is this word? What does this word mean? And then I want you to make a list while you are reading of what those words are, okay? What the words are, and just and you should write down every time you read. I'd say about 4 words, 4 to 5 words, okay? Now, if you know everything on the page, then just write down a word that you liked, okay? That you think was interesting, that you'd like to know, maybe an idiom or a saying that you like, or something wise the person wrote. Okay, it's called a reading journal. Okay. In terms of the journals too, next week, can I get the journal of Miss Maria Marco? Can you give me your journal next week, during the week?
Next week we can give you, yeah.
Yeah, the writing journals, like every week we're trying to write 1 page of whatever you feel like.
I did one, but
I give you all of the pages, so only the pages
All of
I
them,
give you.
all of
All of them?
Just like I
Okay.
took all these pictures, it's
I have
really easy to do.
7.
Mamash kal, אתה הולך לגו-
I have until week 7, but I don't know how to put it on Google Classroom.
Okay, well, want me to show you right now how to do it? Okay, it's really easy. Look, can you see me in the picture up there? Watch, you go to your phone, okay, and you find Google Classroom and you open it up, right? And then once you open it up,
Oh, it's on.
you just do it straight. You find our class, 9th grade English speakers. Okay, and then you go to diary, okay, עכשיו את מחפשת את כתוב כאן באמצע, יש 3 אופציות. Okay, stream classroom people. Go to classwork. You know, look, I put at the top here, writing journals. Click on that. You clicked on it, right? Then you find, okay, I'm the teacher, so it's a little bit different now. But I mean, here's like Batya Daltov, okay? You can like, with you have the option to choose. You have the option, I don't have this here, but you have the option to put in pictures, okay? You can do that.
Okay.
It's one of those lines, there's one of those little lines at the top, you press on it and you will have, you can put in pictures, all right?
Okay.
But trust me, it's really easy. And then the camera's there and it goes right into the writing journals. You don't have to play around with moving files, which takes 100 years to do. You just do it straight from the Google, just straight from your classroom and from the writing, the blah, 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 from the journal writing page, okay? But if you have any questions, send me a WhatsApp, I'll explain to you more. Okay, girls? So this week, the only homework is to finish. The girls who did not finish last week, please finish last week's assignment and put it up on Google Classroom. No writing homework on Google Classroom this week. Just read a book and read the article on the horror genre, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, girls, take care. Be well.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
ביי.
Bye-bye. Be well. Hasta luego.
וזה רק אנחנו.
Okay. Now I have other girls here that Haviva, let's see, Noga Levy.
היא אמורה להיכנס, לכמה דקות.
Oh, eating my lunch. Don't mind. So, Vishli Khatisha, Bishvachem. What do you want to work on? Amatum Mutzam Navod. Past progressive simple, that?
על הווז והכל זה. כן, על הווז, וויר, אידי.
Bon. Let's do what I put up on Classroom together, okay? Are we? Where are we? Okay. Ninth grade. And then I give you, this is for next week, this link. And then let's do, I don't know. Here I can show you what it says here. And then we can look at the words. If you look on this page, כל אחד רואים את זה עכשיו, הדף הזה? שאני עליתי? רואה את זה? רואים? אז כאן אני פשוט כתבתי, אני מנסה לעשות את זה, אני מנסה להציג את זה כמה שיותר פשוט. יש לכם פשוט דוגמאות של past simple ו-past progressive. Okay? The statement's a Tana. She listened to the teacher. The past progressive, she was listening to the teacher. They wrote a letter. You were writing a letter. Okay? Past. Okay, question, did she listen to the teacher last night? In past progressive, was she listening to the teacher? Did they write a letter? Were you writing a letter? She did not listen to the teacher. They were not listening to the teacher. She did not write a letter. We were not writing. So פשוט כך קובעים את זה, אוקיי? עכשיו גם, לא נכנסנו לזה בעומק, אבל, כן, וככה קובעים את זה בקוד, כמו, אם זה טענה זה הנושא, V2 או V1, אם זה שאלה זה did ו-V1, ואם זה שלילי זה הנושא did not ו-V1. וכאן זה פשוט הקודים. כאן למטה אני כתבתי כל הביטויי זמן. אז הביטויי זמן של past progressive, של past simple, סליחה, yesterday, a week ago, a month ago.
מיסטר, נוגה מבקשת שתאשר אותה.
הנה, כן.
אתה יכול רגע לחזור לדפים האלה איפה שכתוב את הסאבג'קט הזה.
לחזור על זה שוב? רוצה לחזור על זה?
לא, אני רוצה רק לצלם את זה.
יש לך את
רגע,
זה,
זה
אני שמתי את זה
זה
בקלאסרום.
בקלאסרום?
אני רק עובר מה שכתוב בקלאסרום,
אוקיי.
אוקיי? וכאן אני כותב את הביטוי זמן. זאת אומרת, אם יש לך משפט עם המילים האלו, זה past simple, חוץ אמרתי, ראינו היום דוגמה שהיה לנו yesterday, פלוס at בזמן, כמו at, you could say, at, אני אפשר לכתוב על זה, חייב להוריד את זה. אולי אני אוריד את זה, רגע.
ETS.
אני רוצה לכתוב על זה, שנייה, אני רוצה לחפש את זה במסמך וורד. אוקיי, רק שנייה. שנייה, קח לי כמה דקות. שנייה. אוקיי.
אם אתה מעדיף, אתה יכול לעשות גם, כאילו שיש אפשרות בזה של הזום של לצייר על המסמך, אז איפה שמציירים אפשר גם להוסיף טקסט כאילו, כמו שאתה עושה על מסך לבן.
אני פשוט עושה טקסט שאתם יכולים, אפשר לקרוא ביחד והכל. אוקיי, יאללה, הנה הטקסט הזה, עכשיו, שאני עושה. עשיתי את זה. אוקיי, היינו כאן. אוקיי, אתם רואות את זה? כן? עכשיו, בואו נעשה כמה תרגילים, אוקיי? אז אמרתי לכם, at בזמן, זה תופס. When I say at and time, I mean like, I say like at, when I say at, let me just do this. I mean like, saying like, at, 3 o'clock or something like that. That's what I mean by at and time. Okay, at 3 o'clock. So yesterday plus at יותר חזק. אז בואו נמשיך. A day ago I did something. זה דורש past simple. Day ago איך אומרים, הלכתי לירושלים. Day ago הלכתי לירושלים.
was walking.
No, past simple.
לא, כן.
אז זה כמו go to Jerusalem.
I was going.
No, it's a past simple.
Going.
No, past simple. אז go בעבר, חריג. אז מה זה? צריך לחפש ברשימה של חריגים.
Going.
לא, מה זה go בחריג? V2?
Go זה went.
Went. אוקיי.
אז ככה מדברים את זה כאילו בלי איזה ING או was, where, משהו?
No, זה past simple עכשיו. A day ago I went to Jerusalem. Last week my friend and I, בוא נגיד, הביטוי זמן זה a day ago. מפני שזה כתוב a day ago, אני כתבתי גם ביטוי זמן. מפני שזה כתוב a day ago, את יודעת שאת חייבת past simple. וכל התשואה הזה זה רק past simple. אז אם אני כותב, last week זה ביטוי זמן של past simple. My friend and I, בוא נגיד, אני רוצה להגיד, אנחנו למדנו למבחן. אוקיי? אז עכשיו איך אני אומר את זה? את יודעת שזה past simple. אוקיי, study, אין לי כאן את הרשימה של החריגים, אני חושב. יש לי כל מיני פירושים, הסברים כאן, אבל רגע, אין לי את הרשימה של החריגים, סליחה. תודה. אבל אתם צריכים את הרשימה הזאת של החריגים תמיד, אצלכם. אז last week I, the past simple, זה לא חריג. study זה לא חריג, לא דיברנו על זה הרבה, אבל עם המילה study, יש לכם Y, ולפני ה-Y יש אות ניקוד, אות ייצור, נכון? לכן ה-Y...
אז עושים IED, לא?
כן, ה-Y הופך ל-IED. כן, לא דיברנו על זה בכיתה. אני חייב לחזור על זה, אוקיי? So I studied, all right? And this is went, all right? כן, ה-Y הופך, אם לפני ה-Y יש אות ניקוד, אז ה-Y נשאר. כמו I say here, did you, ואני רוצה להגיד המילה play, כמו play the guitar yesterday. האם אתה ניגנת בגיטרה אתמול? אז עכשיו כאן,
did you play, זה נשאר אותו דבר.
play. וה-Y נשאר. כי לפני ה-Y יש A, ו-A זה אחת האותיות ניקוד.
אבל מיסטר, אמרת שאם יש did, אז הפועל נשאר אותו דבר.
כן, את צודקת. מה אני כל כך? אוי ויי. did you, כל כך רציתי להגיד played, סליחה. Okay. Did you play the guitar yesterday? So if you answer, you could say, you know, Ken ani niganti. Okay, like, yes, I played yesterday. Okay? So, yes, I played yesterday. בסדר? אני עושה פועלים בזה. Yesterday זה ביטוי זמן. תשימי לביטוי זמן בזהוב. זהוב. אוקיי, זה קצת מגושם כאן לעבוד, אנחנו נעבוד בדף אחרת, אבל בואו נסתכל בזה. As we drive to the beach, we also listen to the radio. אוקיי, יש לכם את ביטוי זמן as. זה כמו while, נכון?
אז זה was driving.
אבל was זה רק אם נעשה זה he.
זה were, כי יש פה...
As we were, לא אומרים את זה כמו, אומרים את זה word, מה קוראים ה-E בסוף ה-drive?
כאילו מורידים אותו.
מורידים אותו, אוקיי? As we were driving, עכשיו תשים לב ש... המילה were לא נשמע כמו where, איפה. זה נשמע שונה. אני רוצה להגיד את זה נכון. Where is איפה, air. יש איזשהו A, where. Were, הנה את הצליל הזה של A. אז תגידו נכון. כאן זה כתוב, we were driving, everybody. We
were
driving. Good, we were driving. But if I say, where are you? Where are you? כן, המילה where, איפה, נכון? where, איפה, יש איזשהו A ששומעים שם, where.
מיסטר, אם במבחן מישהי תשכח כאילו להוסיף T נגיד לפני ה-NG או להשמיט את ה-E, זה יחשב כאילו, אתה תוריד על זה נקודות.
אם אני כותב as we was driving, במקום were...
לא, כאילו עכשיו מישהי תשאיר את ה-E. כאילו...
זה? האיות? אני רק מוריד נקודה אחת. אם אתה כותב was, זה תלוי, אני רואה איך זה יוצא בכיתה. לפעמים זה הכל לא נכון, או חצי לא נכון, אוקיי? As we were driving to the beach, we also listened to the radio. Okay, we also, זה קורה באותו זמן, אתם רואים את זה? בזמן שאנחנו נוסעים ליחוב, באותו זמן אנחנו מקשיבים לרדיו, לכן, it's also...
אז we were
listening. Yeah, we were listening to the radio at the same time. זה קורה באותו זמן. All right? While David teach the class, his colleague walked in. בזמן שדוד לימד את השיעור, העמית שלו נכנס. So what's this? While David
was
teaching. The class, his colleague.
זה was אבל, נכון? כי זה כיתה אחת כאילו.
Yeah, good, 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 good.
אז בוא, רגע. was...
Colleague. הוא נכנס פתאום. כאן למטה אני עשיתי משהו שאני לא יכול לעשות בכיתה. תסתכל בטבלאות, שנייה, תסתכלו בטבלאות האלו. כאן ב-past simple, אני רוצה להדגיש שזה, יש לי כאן, בדרך כלל אני כותב את זה על הלוח, אבל אני לא יכול בכיתה. וזה אני הכנתי. תסתכלו, כאן יש גרף. בצד הזה של הקו זה עבר, בצד ימין זה הווה, או עתיד. past simple רוצה להדגיש אירועים נפרדים שקרו בעבר. אז yesterday at 9 a.m. I brushed my teeth, at 9:30 I ate my breakfast, and at 10 I took the bus to work. זה קרה, זה קרה, זה קרה. Okay. But what about past progressive? תסתכלו, זה זמן. אבל כאן אני כותב, while I was brushing my teeth, the electricity went out. Okay? בזמן שאני צחצחתי את השיניים בבוקר, בום, לא היה חשמל. זה היה
אז מקרה אחד בתוך אירוע שלם?
כן, זה נכנס. והמשכתי אולי, יכולתי להמשיך לצחצח את השיניים. I could continue brushing my teeth. Alright?
אז כאילו, פתאום שנפל החשמל, זה כאילו... זה היה כאילו...
פתאומי, בבת אחת. אבל אני יכולתי להמשיך עם הפעולה. עכשיו יש לכם שני דברים. While I was brushing my teeth, the electricity went out. החשמל נכבה. עכשיו, כאן יש לך את העט. בשעה הספציפי הזה, בנקודה הזה בזמן, אי אפשר בנקודה בזמן, אתה התחלת וסיימת משהו. אוקיי, אני אומר, מה עשית בשעה 9? אם זו השאלה, at 9, אי אפשר להגיד את זה ב-past simple, כי בדיוק בזמן הזה אתה חייב להיות באמצע, אנחנו תמיד באמצע משהו. אם אתה חושב את זה באופן קצת הגותי, פילוסופי, תחשבו. אין, הזמן לא עוצר, אז אתה תמיד באמצע משהו, אוקיי? דווקא מבחינה פילוסופי, אין, ההווה לא קיים. ההווה זה אשליה. אין הווה. אנחנו תמיד...
אבל לא יכול להיות כאילו משהו שיהיה עם שעה והוא יהיה בפסט סימפל כאילו?
כן. ברגע שאני אומר at 9 a.m. I was brushing my teeth. אני הייתי באמצע משהו כזה. אני הזמנתי בכיתה, אם היא אומרת לי, by 9 a.m. by means עד. כבר סיימתי לצחצח את השיניים. I already finished brushing my teeth. אני צריך פה, I almost finished
מה זאת אומרת by 9?
I almost finished my homework. By 9 I already finished my homework. אני כבר סיימתי את שיעורי בית שלי, אוקיי? by זה עד. כאן, by יש לו המון פירושים באנגלית, אבל כאן זה עד. by יכול להיות מעט, או ידי, או כל מיני דברים. כאן זה עד.
אז רגע, אז עד זה כאילו היה ונגמר.
by 9 a.m. כן, until. You could say also until 9 a.m. אבל זה נשמע יותר טוב ב-by. יש לי עוד טבלה כאן? לא. לא צריכים לקרוא. כל החומר הזה למטה, זה לא בשבילכם, זה בשביל המכללה. Okay, so this morning at 7 a.m., I what? At 7 a.m. At 7 a.m. אני באמצע, wait, בואו לא סיימנו כאן. While David was teaching the class, his colleague walked in. לא. לא. זה לא קורה, אני מלמד. בזמן שאני מלמד, העמית שלי נכנס. זה קורה בבת אחת. הוא קוטע את המעשה שלי, את הפעולה שלי, אוקיי? זה לא אותו זמן. זה לא כמו, הוא לאט נכנס לחדר. אני מלמד, ופתאום רב קפח נכנס. אז זה עניין שמשהו קוטע, משהו אחר.
אז אם עידי כאילו...
אז אם יש משפטים שכאילו קורה משהו, ואז קורה משהו שקוטע את הדבר שעשית, אז הראשון הוא יהיה בפסט פרוגרסיב, והשני בפסט סימפל, או שזה לא בהכרח?
אפשר להפוך את זה. אפשר, זה לא ראשון ושני, אני יכול להגיד את המשפט הזה.
אין איזה חוקיות כאילו.
כן,
יש לי
יש
איזה...
חוקיות. קודם כל, while. אחרי while, אתה חייב past progressive. אם בצד השני, אבל אם הפעולה...
לא, כן, אבל בסדר של ה-was וה...
כן, בסדר, לא. אפשר, כן, אני יכול להפוך את המשפט הזה. כמו, my colleague, my friend walked into my class while I was teaching. It's also okay? כי a while, מה שבא אחרי a while זה מה שקובע. a while זה הביטוי זמן.
אוקיי.
אוקיי? כאן יש לנו את הביטוי זמן של at פלוס זמן. This morning at 7, אני תמיד אומר לכם את זה, אמרתי את זה בהיום. This morning at 7 a.m., what? What were you doing? And say I was what? I was sleeping. What were you doing this morning? At 7 a.m. I was praying. I was praying. Okay, I need Pilati, or I was eating breakfast. Okay, or I was talking to my wife. Okay, understand?
Mm-hmm.
Last night at 7 p.m. זה אותו דבר. כי למרות, כאן אני רוצה להדגיש, למרות של last night, בדרך כלל last night, זה ביטוי זמן של past simple. Last night, last year, last month. אבל כאן ה-at הוא קובע.
בשבע.
Because last night at 7 p.m., what were you doing?
was משהו.
I was what? Yeah, I was singing. Okay. So that's how you do that. Now, if you want, you can start doing this. I don't have time to do much more than this today, but I can look at the other page I gave you, which is a kind of quiz, which you can do if you want to do it, and we'll check it when you've done it to be on Bishavua Babo Tozman, okay? Yes, you did this. Okay. All right, there you go. Zoom. Okay, so here you have a nice quiz to do. You see this? But comes in the classroom, okay? So these are only in past simple. So that's a targil, much pashut. Here's a targil past progressive.
חזרה מבחן?
כן.
זה היה בוחן שנתתי פעם. And here's choose between past simple and past progressive. Okay? תעשו את זה ונבדוק את זה ביחד ביום חמישי הבא. בסדר?
Alright.
Right? I want to see the game. We have Talia Mazuz, Noga Levy, and Shira Madman. Kol hakavod for coming.
Thank you, teacher.
If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Send me a question. You can send me a question on WhatsApp too. Okay?
רגע, אבל איך לעשות את זה? כאילו להדפיס את זה ולעשות את זה?
אני אגיד, אמרתי לאבא שלי להדפיס.
כן, אפשר להוריד את זה למחשב שלך ולעשות את זה, או להדפיס את זה לעשות. ונבדוק את זה ביחד ביום חמישי הבא.
עושים את זה ביחד בשיעור או לעשות את זה?
לא, אנחנו נעשה את זה בשעה פרטני הזה.
אוקיי.
אולי אני אתן את זה לכל הכיתה. אני חושב שלכל הכיתה צריך קצת אימון. אז אולי אני אשלח את זה לכל הכיתה לעשות, וזה בשיעור הבא. אוקיי, אני רק רוצה להגיד, יש כוח שבאתם, שזה אכפת לכם מספיק כדי להצטיין, I'm very happy that you're working so hard. That's great. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you later, Ali. See you later,
להתראות.
Ali. Bye-bye. Be well. Shabbat shalom.
תודה רבה.
שלום.